He is the manager of the Incubator and Resource Center at the JBDC, and that's the Jamaica Business Development Corporation. And he's going to be talking to us about, let us see. Good morning, Colin. How are you doing?
Good morning, Sir Orville. I am good, given thanks that we were not as adversely affected by that young lady recently, but, you know, our hearts go to all those in the centers and elsewhere who kind of have been displaced quite a bit.
Colin, she's not a young lady. Anybody? I don't know no young lady named Beryl.
That's true. We're politically correct.
No, man. Again, that's a lady. Leave out the adjective.
Exactly.
I mean, even know she's a lady either too, because she go on bad.
She's a lady, boy.
Yeah. There you go. Right. So, you're going to be talking to us about driving business innovation success through prototype development, aren't you?
Correct.
Yeah?
Correct.
All right.
Yes.
Talk me through it and walk me through it.
All right. You know, these are areas which are critical for business success. Prototype development and using innovation to drive that process. And, you know, at JBDC, we work with quite a bit of MSMEs. In fact, up to the ending of March 24, we have impacted over 300 businesses through assisting them in several areas, including the development of innovative, research-driven products, you know, and this covers several sectors, from agro-processing, fashion, gifts and craft, wellness-type products using essential oils and other areas, other materials, from ceramics, you name it. And so this is something that we think is very important for persons, especially, and even though we talk about prototyping, people may immediately think a tangible or a physical item that you have to make up a sample and so what it's like. But even in a service-based type situation, you know, you have to test your concept. Prototyping is part of the whole product development cycle. You know, you'll have an idea, you'll come up with an idea of something, a solution to a problem out there, and you'll develop on your concept, on your idea. You'll have that proof of concept to see, will it work, will it not work, will it satisfy what people want, etc. and things. So how you validate your idea now, a part of the process is to create models or prototypes to test it, you know, and so we do quite a bit of that. Of course, nowadays, in making a difference, in making a product that really works and satisfies demand, you have to think innovation. How can I improve upon what exists? How can I come up with the most novel or the best solution there is? So we use prototyping to do that. And prototyping basically is taking the specifications of what you have conceptualized, testing it through testing whether the materials, the method of manufacture, how much money will it cost, how will it function, how reliable it is, how efficient it is, how much does it make an impact upon the problem you're trying to address, and so on. And we go through that. So we do quite a bit of that with our clients in order for them to have the right product before they get to market. You know, so basically that's what we do.
Oh, okay. So how do we get access to that, though? So let's, for example, I have. I want to talk about prototype, by the way. You're not simply talking about, say, machinery, right?
No.
Oh, right.
No.
So it could be just something. It could be let's see, no. It could be that I'm making some objects which are decorative.
Correct.
Right. So you know, I come up with a drawing and I like it. I make it from out of plastics, waste plastic,
right.
And I come up with a mold, and I have some little statuettes that look ugly, but them look like me, and them look very African and everything.
Right.
And I said, all right, I know I can sell them for $5,000 a piece. But, right, I'll keep the original for myself. I'm a sculptor. I go to boom and right. Good.
Right. So
Now,
Orville.
yeah, man. So walk me through that.
Right. So walking us through that. So you have the idea to make a replica statuette of yourself. Right. So, of course, it's tied to, there's a demand. People love how you look, and they're going to buy one statuette of you. You have gone through your research there, and you prove that it is a big seller that you potentially have on your hands. So, as a sculptor, you make up that little model that look like yourself. Of course, your research will tell you certain specifications, how big it is going to be, how much it's supposed to weigh, what colors you're going to use. It's going to be true to life with your color, or you're going to mix in some other bright neon color, whatever the market wants, and so on, and you do research and find your materials. Now, you're going, because you're a sculptor, you assume that you're going to make it out of clay or make it out of wood and so. But in researching to get to your prototype, really, because at this point you shouldn't even make the real model yet. You decide, will I make it out of wood because I'm good at carving out of wood and I can get ample supply of this type of wood, or I'm going to make it out of clay or some other material. Now, once you start creating that physical model, that physical prototype, you will get answers to a lot of things. If I'm going to sell a projected 5,000, if I can't make all them by hand, so as I say, I'm going to need to make a mold. So you make a mold whether from urethane or resin or some other suitable material, and I say, but now that I make the mold, I can make it out of wood. And you do your research. And I say, I can recycle plastic, melt it down, reform it, or some other appropriate thing. Once you start doing that, you will get to learn the properties of the plastic, how it melts. This plastic melts too fast. This plastic don't melt enough. This plastic don't give the type of finish and things that I want. And you try different forms of plastic or different methods of molding. So prototypes help you to answer a lot of things, especially when you get to the real manufacturing part, everything is resolved and you don't have no question, you're not going to have no hiccup and that type of thing. What prototyping also does, it gives you an indication of what your product should cost, what your production cost should be, because you know how much time you're spending on it, so you know your labor cost, you know how much material going into it, you know what equipment you will need to produce it, and so on. And you put those in place so that by the time you get to actual production now, you're doing production as efficiently as possible, right? So it's important. What some people make the mistake of doing is the minute they make that first one by hand, they figure, it looks good, I can sell it. And then you try to replicate it and you realize you run into a lot of issues, right? So that prototyping step is very important. It's experimenting. It's like when, another example I like to use is like baking a cake or some other kind of thing. You experiment, you put in a little bit of sugar, you put in a little bit of this ingredient, a little bit of flour, and sometimes it come out good, sometimes it don't come out good. But you write down your recipe and you tweak it to get the taste and the consistency that you want. And then you put that now into production.
Okay. When I was listening to you, you almost sounded as if it's you doing it yourself, Well, I was actually impressed by the amount of knowledge that you actually have. The specific of this one, yes.
I mean, we do it ourselves. I do it myself. My team does it themselves, and we assist our clients in doing it. So you have to walk the walk, be able to talk the talk. So this is something that we work with our clients with.
Yes.
And it helps them to ensure that at the end of the day, their products meet the requirements of the market.
And so then, as you walk through the process, and I could have closed my eyes, and in an event, I can't see her, so it's the same thing, right? Right. So with a visual image going through it, and I want to thank you for the way that you have walked me through it.
Thanks.
So I do know, though, that there are some things that are free and but nothing is really free. But there are some things that are affordable or inexpensive, right?
That's correct, yes.
Now, this kind of assistance and guidance that you gave me, I'm sure that there's a much more structured way to obtain this information and guidance and mentoring and not on board fixing. So how do I do that now? So tell me, stage one, how I come to you?
All right. So you come to us, access in one of our JBDC offices. And we're in Kingston and elsewhere. JBDC.net will give you exactly where we are located, and you meet with one of our officers, and ultimately you'll be in touch with a technical officer depending on what sector you are in, and we will walk you through that process through consultation and step by step. And that part you don't have to go in your pocket for that, unless there is some specific thing later on we get down where you have to go buy some material and do your own things. On the other hand as well, where you may pay a very, very small amount, we do have workshops. For example, we have a starting a business workshop module, or series rather, which has a module on product development and design. And there we introduce it to the theory of product development and design, which explains in more detail the various steps, including prototyping and so on, and design and so on in that one. And the information for that one, the schedule for that one is on our website, jbdc.net as well. Mm-hmm. And some of these are done virtually, so no matter where you are in Jamaica, you can participate in these workshops. Mm-hmm. And from time to time, we will have physical workshops on specific areas. So later in the year, we're planning things like jewelry workshops, how to make jewelry items from metals or from plastics or from leather.
Yeah, every now and then it slips me that Things Jamaican is actually ensconced in JBDC. Yeah?
That is correct.
Yes.
Things Jamaican is our brand, and we have stores in Kingston at Devon House, Norman Mann International Airport, etc.
Yeah.
And a lot of our clients who have products in Things Jamaican would pass through us. We would provide them with the support and guidance. So have products that are available there, all Jamaican-made products. And, and Things Jamaican is just one outlet that we fully control, but there are others we're participating. We're partnering with the Tourism Linkages Hub, for example, with Christmas in July, which is happening for the end of this week.
Yes.
Where, again, persons will be showcasing the best of Jamaican-made products across various sectors. And obviously, JBDC would have assisted several of these clients, if not majority of them, in developing their products, in developing their businesses, and their whole supply chain management and other business aspects, so that they can get the good products out to those persons who have a need.
Yes. I like it because I've seen the way in which you have done stuff and the way in which you have moved from high failure rates with small businesses. I've seen the way in which you have integrated and rubbed shoulders seamlessly with the tourism linkages network, for example. Right?
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. And every single time, the Christmas in July, I don't know whether we'll be doing the hotline that day or whatever, because I've tended to be the one hosting it. But I've seen the gap between what you talk about and what you do continually narrow. So I want to really tell you how much I appreciate your talking with me, but importantly, the overall work that the JBDC has been doing. So hail up everybody for me. I'm still a big fan of Valerie. Right?
Of course, everybody is. We are all out.
All right, from before you're born, by the way. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So that was Colin Porter. He is the manager of the Incubator and Resource Center at the Jamaica Business Development Corporation. That's the JBDC. We just did Grow Your Business.
Thank you.